Evening, everybody. It's about 9 o'clock. Joe Colton has just ingested a half a packet of Fun Dip. So she's going to die. And while she recovers, enjoy our kick-ass theme song. We'll be right back. You guys can't see what happens when the sequence starts there, but I still see all of you on the screens on the bottom little windows, and Joe Colton went back for seconds on the Fun Dip.
I thought she was still hurting.
So if you're wondering, even closer to death.
Yeah.
She did not learn from being almost overcome by cherry dust. She decided
to go back for more.
I thought I could control the amount that was going into my mouth.
Said every cocaine user ever.
Yeah.
I do like. I didn't expect us to have Joe debut bitter beer face on the team stream, but okay.
Welcome to What's on Joe Mind. We are a fan cast about the world of G.I. Joe. I'm your host, Mike Irizarry. How's everybody doing this evening?
Better than some.
Yeah, not dead yet.
You're not doing kamikaze candy runs right before.
We're not ODing on artificial
Skittles
cherry
next?
flavor.
Really?
Hey, Skittles now with lime.
Hey, Wes, bring the Pepsi and Pop Rocks. It's gonna be a good show.
Pop Rocks and Razzles.
Razzles.
Yeah, it's a candy and a
They still
gum.
make Razzles?
Yeah.
So you're not going to sleep until what, Tuesday?
Probably not. Otherwise, I'd be falling asleep. I got off work an hour ago.
She's medicating for us.
I kind of feel bad for the wrist lock on this one. He's going to have a lot on his hands tonight.
Oh, I don't like the orange ones.
Just save the green one. Green ones for Mike, please.
Early shout out to the wrist lock.
Mm-hmm.
Who will be picking up Joe Colton's body as her pancreas explodes and
You crash at about 10:30.
Right. And you guys have witnessed like Joe Con after hours, Joe, right? Like a little bit.
Yeah.
And I have only heard stories, but I've heard it's bouncing off the ceiling pretty much.
You know, I've helped buy the drinks to get her back under control.
So what is candy stuffed to the gills, Joe Colton like? Same thing?
Pretty close to normal, really.
Okay.
Like we're making a bigger deal out of it than it really is.
I'll just fall asleep. She's
like that all the time. You really like maybe you haven't hung out at cons with Joe Colton enough, Mark, but she's pretty much a spaz anytime in public.
No, I was either a Hasbro guy or had just met Joe Colton at cons. Right. I haven't been at a con with Joe as a contemporary before, really. So next time.
Well, there was Joe Con 2018, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was busy, man.
Right.
I was dying.
I had a picture of us from Joe Con 2018. Yeah. She was hot. And by hot, I mean like 107 degrees in her Serpentress costume.
Overheating.
Waiting to get to the stage. And I'm like, hey, Joe, take a seat. She said, no, I'm good. And then like 10 seconds later, I got to sit down.
Yeah. And then I got up and walked by Mike, and I was like, I'm about to pass out.
So yeah, we carried Joe over to where the water was. Very, very dignified. Emperors don't walk around.
Yeah, no,
they do not.
They're carried in a litter.
Yeah, no. Next time she's Serpentress, I'm pretty sure it's us with Wes carrying her in on a throne. So
yeah,
rightly so.
Which means we got to get Cobra Trooper costumes or something.
So welcome to everybody in the live chat tonight. We appreciate you. Also joining us, our normal cast of characters. The full house is back. Joining me here on the top row, he's the former head of marketing for the G.I. Joe brand at Hasbro. It's the hot show, Mark Weber.
That's right. And nothing beats the Full House. A couple things, but the Full House is pretty damn good.
Yeah,
So
full house is tough.
So-
like a straight flush.
There's a couple things, right? But basically, when it's the four of us, we should just open the show and say, "You're welcome," right? So,
You're welcome, America.
yeah, we're the bloodline, right? Acknowledge us.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
We have already acknowledged her character arc tonight, which will be living the candy surge and crash. She's the queen of G.I. Joe cosplay and the co-hostess with the co-mostess. It's Joe Colton, everybody.
That's right.
Happy Friday, peoples.
So for Halloween's in a couple days, Joe Colton, what's up with that? What's your plan?
So we're going to be visiting our 2-year-old nephew and our new niece, our baby niece. And I'm going to be wearing a onesie, as will the wrist lock. He will be Psyduck, and I will be Charmander.
All right.
That is the 2022 Halloween costumes. I was like, this is new for me.
You haven't done Pokemon before, huh?
No, and nor a onesie, like in public.
I mean, it's Halloween. That you can't. Whatever.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
I mean, technically, you've probably worn a onesie in public, but it's been a long time. Yeah. It's like muscle memory. You'll be fine.
I mean, your Captain Marvel costume's kind of a onesie.
Yeah, you'll poop yourself in the first hour. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
You almost did that in your Captain Marvel costume too.
Mm.
Did I?
Almost. I know. I helped almost make it happen.
I'm not sure that's a story we can tell on air.
Yeah.
CoilCon.
Uh-huh.
We got done doing a panel. Go Mind panel at CoilCon.
I've never been to CoilCon.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Wasn't it? It was. I'm sorry. It was Aaron's show.
Aaron Con?
No, Ohio Toy and Comic Show.
Oh, yes. Where I had to run.
Yeah,
Yes.
you and me and Gary did the panel, and then we stopped and we did an interview with somebody else real quick.
Yeah, and I almost shit myself.
Right, you had problems. and then what
And I'm still your friend.
right? So, some people were even more detrimental than others as far as keeping you from getting to the restroom.
Yes. The interviewer.
Deanna Davis, the sunset is reportedly beautiful, but I'm inside watching Watch on Joe Mine because no one plugged the sunset.
That's
See?
right.
Hi, Diana.
He plugs the damn show either. I'm the one out there plugging the damn show.
Also, because the cat of the year isn't outside, he's inside now. More on that later.
Yes.
But and then of course hitting cleanup tonight.
Woohoo.
It's Rack Time Rob, everyone.
All right. Hi, everybody. In honor of hitting cleanup, I'm just going to strike out 4 times tonight.
Oh, but the launch angle will be amazing.
Yeah, my launch angle will be epic.
When you pull a ball foul by 100 feet. Anyway, hey, look.
Yeah.
Season's over.
Yeah. No, season's over.
Season's over.
Go Phil.
It's football season now, and the team I like is surprisingly 6-1.
Yeah. How are you guys good out of nowhere?
Coaching.
Yes.
Coaching. We believe in Wink.
No fighting day balls.
The fighting day balls, right. How a defense with no teeth gets a new coordinator and all of a sudden they can play.
There you go.
Weird. Anyways, that's enough Giants football watch for tonight. If you're watching us at home, thank you. If you're catching us on Facebook, be sure to give us some kind of a reaction. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a heart. Give us a little huggy guy. If you're catching us on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel, for crying out loud. About 30% of people last week watched our video, our replay, our flashback. About 30% of people were not subscribed. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you not subscribe after that? Why would we present that 10-year-old gold to you and you not hit a subscribe button? That's crazy. So please do that.
Harkening back to the days when G.I. Joe had new animation.
Yeah.
Weird. Yeah, and even then, that interview's over 10 years old, and the show had already been canceled.
Right.
Like, it was already done.
It's already been the 10-year anniversary of the last time they tried to do animated Joe. And it was good.
Right. No,
And nobody could see it.
It's very good. Well,
They put it on the flub.
Yeah, not nobody.
The flub.
Next to nobody.
It was their second highest rated show, pretty consistently.
Yeah, and that's like,
look, man, the hub was on 70% of cable systems in the U.S. It wasn't no.
Was it 70? I don't think it was 70.
I think maybe that is high. I don't know.
I think that was real high, but I will research this topic.
Yeah, we're going back 11 years on that, so my grasp of the numbers may have slipped some.
All I know is they had Batman reruns.
And that they did. What's on Joe Mind was offering 10 years of rolled golds. I don't even know where Biff McHonky Dunk's coming from with this stuff.
They were stale as well.
Apparently, he yearns for pretzels.
Right? Rolled golds are pretty terrible. So they're not Snyder's of Hanover. Big girthy pretzels.
Or unique pretzels. Those are really good out of Pennsylvania. Oh, they make hollow pretzels, so they're extra crunchy. Oh yeah, check them out.
So they make hollow pretzels, but then they don't fill it with stuff. They don't put like a mustard thing or peanut.
Well, I mean, they have lots of options, but the hollow ones are the truth, man.
All right,
give it a shot.
I don't think we have those out here.
What? You guys got black cherry Vernors. How do you not have?
We have black cherry Vernors?
Sometimes, very occasionally. It's tough to find. But we're right next to Michigan, so that's why we have Vernors.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, it's not coming from Michigan to here is not that big of a trek. But anyways, Tim Peterson notes that these pretzels are making me thirsty. And that is well done.
What's on Joe Mind is a well-known thirst trap. I'll be honest with you.
Right. I'll try and find the photo that gets everybody the thirstiest.
That's it.
We got it in here somewhere.
Uh-oh.
There it is. Oh yeah. Ooh. Chuckles getting everybody all thirsty. Anyways.
What is happening?
We don't know.
Do we ever know?
Check the rundown, Joe.
Right? It's early. We haven't even hit the 15-minute mark yet. You think we're gonna actually get down to business? Well, actually, it's time to get down to business. What do you know about that? Stay tuned for community calendar.
There's a Comic-Con or a toy show. What's on Joe Mind wants to know. Tell Mike, Mark, and Joe. Community calendar.
I love how everybody hates that.
I like it.
I like it. But look, Agent Chuckles, James, was willing to write us a theme song.
And perform it.
Unsolicited.
Yes.
And perform it. And give it to us for free.
Yeah. You don't like it? Send us something better.
Right. Beat it.
Yeah.
He's working on version 2, so it may not be around for too much longer.
There we go. Well, I hope the next one is just as overmodulated.
I do. That's really the charm, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I'm not being facetious here. That's why I dig it.
But up first, New Jersey Collectors Con is tomorrow, 10 to 5. $10 gets you in the door. $20 gets you early admission at 8 a.m. That is in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, at the Holiday Inn out by the highway. Joe Colton, you've been there before.
Yeah.
You like it?
I do.
You going back?
Not this weekend.
Well, no, not this weekend, but
oh yeah, I'll go back
in the future.
Yeah. I used to find a ton of stuff at New Jersey Collectors Con every year. Yeah. And start my Christmas shopping there.
Yeah, this is very much a G.I. Joe show. You can sell anything there. But the East Coast dealers come out to play at New Jersey Collectors Con.
Yeah, they do.
Danjamin 905 says, wait, wrong one. Doug Dello says, we don't hate it. It's just super loud. Well,
yeah,
super loud is part of the charm.
Accent on super.
And loud.
Super loud.
Super, comma, loud.
Mhm.
So anyways, if you're in the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, perhaps even Philadelphia, get yourself out to Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and take in the New Jersey Collectors Con. Next up, got Assembly Required on November 4th and 5th. That is next weekend. Not this weekend, obviously, but next Friday and Saturday. In Des Moines, Iowa, at the Hy-Vee Hall in downtown Des Moines. That's downtown Des Moines, not the one out by the airport. I was making tentative plans to get this one a couple months ago. Wasn't able to follow through on that, unfortunately. Change jobs. That'll do it. That'll wipe out your vacation time.
Is it possible we could get somebody else to sit there without passwords while you go to Iowa?
No, because if I went to Iowa, I'd be sleeping in my car at this point. So
All right, fair enough.
it's not going to work. My car is neither roomy nor comfortable. I mean, it's fine. It's not the worst. But yeah, so if you're in the central part of the nation there, you're around Des Moines, and really, who isn't around Des Moines? Friday's events are pay for play, but Saturday's show and everything connected to it is completely free. So if you haven't made any bookings and you haven't made any plans, but you are somewhere around there, get yourself out there on Saturday. Take it in. A great G.I. Joe show, lots of panels, lots of great information, some fun dealers, some great stuff that they're making available. You can catch one of our previous episodes from a few weeks back. We had Brian Sauer on to talk more about it. So rather than recap the whole thing here, just when we're done tonight, if you're interested in Assembly Required, go back and check out the back catalog from a few weeks ago, the Brian Sauer episode.
It sounds like a really well-planned show, right? Like, we pub a lot of shows, but this one, I was really impressed with all the stuff he has planned. I love the Free Kid Saturday and the original 13 card backs that he was working on. Oh, man. Like,
Phil Donnelly says, just get a cardboard cutout of Mike for work. That could work, actually. That plan has more merit than you would
just have it with like a counterweighted hand. So
right.
Yeah.
See, I'm new. I switched jobs, as I just said, and my new job requires me to have some low-level government clearances. And as Joe will tell you, government paperwork takes a long time.
What?
So they're starting to show me how to do things. So I do have occasionally something to do, but most of my job is on the other side of that security clearance, and so it hasn't finished yet. I just don't have a lot.
remember that scene in Office Space when the guy guts a fish at his desk and nothing happens? Yeah.
Are you almost there?
I was telling Bob earlier tonight, I was the only person in the building because we're allowed to telecommute most of the week. So nobody comes in on Friday, but since I'm technically still training, I have to be there. And I was the only person in the building, in the IT department, on 3 floors of IT. I was the only person on the first floor.
Wow.
There was one guy and the HR lady on the second floor. That was it. That was the whole place today.
I thought I had that a couple weeks ago on a Friday, and I was considering just doing a running tour of the office with the phone all shaky, bouncing around.
Oh, God.
And just as I was legit considering doing it, 2 guys from facilities just walked around the corner. And I'm like, oh, not alone.
Dan Davis says, Joe, get out here. Disney, wine, bonsai, cat and dogs. Apparently the rest of us can go screw ourselves. But
Yep.
Joe, you're welcome in California.
Thank you.
It's a dream of mine to be the only one in the building.
Right?
Right? I mean, I can't lie to you.
Feeling.
It was kind of nice on one hand, but then on the other hand, there was nothing going on. Nothing going on. So I'm seeing some questions about 1027 come up. We'll talk about 1027 a little later on.
Coming up,
Settle down. We're in community calendar.
this is the appetizers. Enjoy your cheese sticks.
So sassy.
Man, It's salty, Honcho. That's what it is. Salty.
Salty, like the pretzel.
Whatever. You think I'd be more sunny and upbeat considering my near-death experience the other day, but
Andrew Gaugan says, reminds me of the days during the pandemic, 3 floors and only 3 of us to be seen. I was in St. Louis during the pandemic for the opening salvos, and there were about 10 of us going into a building that had 250 cubicles on the first floor. So that was fun. They kept the break room stocked for us, though, so at least there was that.
and the Marco Polo games were amazing.
They were fantastic, yeah. But God forbid you ever needed to actually talk to somebody, because we'd all sit in different spots every day, make it challenging. Yeah. There were some days where that got old.
For who? You or the other guy?
For everybody. You never knew. You never knew.
Diana's got a good point, Mike. Maybe you should take this opportunity to plug your other shows.
I don't have other shows.
Oh,
I guest starred on another show.
Mhm.
Oh.
But yeah, you guys would know that if you got on social media once in a while and help plug the damn show. Anyways, I told them that if they were trying to attract listeners to their program, they probably got the one host from What's on Joe Mind that wasn't going to help with it.
Yeah, but you were on their show from your new job, which I thought was pretty aggressive.
No. I will tell the whole story and give the full plug what went later on.
Later on. See, these are teases.
Right.
Got 2 old radio guys here, right? Get used to the tease. Good stuff.
Because
After the break.
there is a good story about how that was recorded. Yes.
Okay.
So moving forward, new this week on Community Calendar, it's the Florida Extravaganza. We've had a couple of other shows pop up in recent months. But this is also next weekend. It's the 5th and 6th of the Florida State Fairgrounds in Tampa. It's a little show, but certainly worth your time. Parking is free. They've got a Facebook page. They'll give you all the details there. But more quality from the Florida Toy Shows and Expos crowd. And they've popped up here before. Thanks to David T. Allen for letting us know about that one.
Virgil's going to be at that show.
He's at all of them.
Looking for Ted DiBiase.
He's at all the shows.
All the shows.
Is he
The following week, we're going to stay in Florida at the SeaWorld Doubletree. Again, that's not out by the highway. It's by the SeaWorld. In Orlando, that's a collector stop brought to you by Ranger Stop. They've got a Facebook page, and they don't have a Facebook page. They got a website. RangerStopOrlando.com will give you all the details. This one's a little bit pricier. They've got a number of guests and autograph opportunities and photo opportunities and things like that. But that is next weekend, the 11th through the 13th, or 2 weekends from now, the 11th through the 13th. Thanks again to Dave, who doesn't send emails. He sends instant messages on Facebook, which sometimes I remember and sometimes I don't. And this time we were lucky and I did, because I'm getting old.
Mm-hmm.
The hair still looks plenty dark from a distance, but it's starting to get gray. If you get
Getting gray?
a little bit.
Boy, salt and pepper.
A little bit. It's not going to be quite this beautiful forever. It'll be a different kind of beautiful.
When it starts to go and it's noticeable, we totally have to play Push It as your intro. It'll be amazing.
Joe Colton is absolutely bamboozled by what's going on here tonight. I think her sugar intake has messed with her mind a little bit.
I think we're lucky
More
she had
Skittles.
that much sugar, or we lost her already.
Probably.
We got to
More
wake it up.
Skittles. They have lime.
I don't understand what's happening.
What candy is next, Joe? Quick.
I can go Razzles.
I'm amazed they still make Razzles.
I know you're trying to pace yourself to make it through the whole show, but you might have to crack those Razzles. It's a candy and a gum.
And a gum and a candy.
I had not had them until this year, like ever.
Makes me think of Jennifer Garner. among other things.
Did she never have razzles either?
That make me think of Jennifer Garner. No, never.
And it says a different kind of beautiful is the title of Mike's autobiography. Nope. Title of my autobiography is 10 Kinds of Sexy.
Oh yeah.
All right.
With an A between the X and the Y.
Sexy.
Sorry.
2 A's. Hey. Of course, we've also got Fanboy Expo November 12th and 13th. That's here the home crowd in Indianapolis, Indiana. Guest list you can read for yourself. We've had this up for like 4 weeks now. I'm tired of talking about it. Go to their website.
But hey, Lee Majors.
Lee Majors. Go to the website. Tell them Lee Majors sent you. And that'll save you 0% on your tickets. But that too, also kind of pricey, so be ready. There's lots of photos, lots of autograph type opportunities that it's a pay for play kind of deal. So be ready there. Danjamin 905 asks, "What's a razzle?" And it's a candy and a gum. But you gonna get some razzles for the. There we go.
So now we're moving to what we got in.
Right. We'll get to. Let me get Joe Colton
It's
up.
a candy that says it turns into a gum, but really just kind of degrades into some kind of gritty.
Yeah. Can you take it out of the package?
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna crack the razzles right now. It's an unboxing video.
All right. Yeah. Get that up there.
It
So
looks like a
it's,
sweet tart, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. And then as you chew it and get it moistened up, it doesn't break into chalk. It just kind of chews. They're not bad.
Mm-mm.
They're not good either, but they're
Not
not.
It's like a Tootsie Roll. It's borderline candy.
Like
No. Tootsie Rolls are great.
they're tasty enough, but you kind of get stuck with this really. After about 10 minutes, it's really shitty gum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The gum doesn't last 10 minutes. It, like I said, it kind of degrades into some kind of powdery residue.
No, it's gummy. It's just not
Good.
It's all right. I have grape right now.
Yeah. Again, they don't taste bad.
Mm-mm.
It's just the texture gets a little tough pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But, and then, of course, bringing up the back, the rollout roll call is on Sunday, November 13th in Fordingbridge. Brought to you by our good friends at allthecoolstuff.co.uk. Proud sponsors of our swear jar. Remember, you can help Joe Colton stay out of our swear jar by pledging to our coffee accounts down below. We've got our account there. We've got Joe Colton's there. So if you got a few dollars laying around that you can help, we'd really appreciate it. Torpedo Mike asks, better or worse than baseball card gum?
Like the Big Chew?
Yeah, like those. No,
the sticks of gum in a pack of Tops.
Yeah, she may not. I'm gonna guess that Joe Colton was not doing baseball cards as a kid.
Hockey cards.
Yeah, but it's more like she wasn't quite old enough. Like she might have just been when she was getting to be the age where she'd be buying sports cards, they were taking the gum out.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't remember gum.
Like gum kind of topped out 85, 86, 87.
Yeah.
I forget sometimes.
Joe was born. Even like like stuff for like the cards for the Batman movie and stuff like that had gum in them, and
Right.
Yeah, but remember up in Canada they have different laws of like for food with toys and stuff.
Yeah, I thought they were less restrictive though, right?
They
like
are.
you guys had the Kinder eggs, right? Like the toys inside.
Oh
the
yeah,
chocolate.
when I moved down here as an adult, I was like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
See there, again, there's a swear jar again.
Yeah.
I'm gypped on both the chocolate and the fucking toy.
So our cursing sensitive listeners all gone. Our 4 gypsy listeners now all gone.
I'm so mad.
Hang around, we'll offend all of you by the end of the show.
Right. Really, that's not even a good term anymore. So you gotta stay away from that. Our transient listeners.
There's a great Monty Python episode where they try to come up with a new slur for Belgians. And the guy who wins says, "I'm sorry, I can't come up with anything more derogatory than Belgians." No offense to our Belgian fans out there.
Well, there goes Belgium.
Yep.
Right. There goes the number 12 nation on the What's on Joe Mind demographic. That's it for Community Calendar.
There's a Comic-Con or a toy show. What's on Joe Mind wants to know? Tell Mike, Mark, and Joe Community Calendar.
You notice Joe was an angel for the first 31 minutes of the show, and then she popped a razzle and cursed 3 times in 70
Well,
seconds.
I think that was the last bit of sugar that just tipped her over.
Yeah, it's the
No.
sugar.
Now she's on the cranky crash part, you know.
But
That's
remember,
what
if you have a show that you want to plug on Community Calendar, send us an email. That's really send email, please email. Get it to me before I'm done with show prep on Thursday, and we'll get it on the show.
Oh, show prep's Thursday.
It is now.
Because I sent you like 20 photos tonight.
Yeah, but I planned on that.
Okay.
I have a little bit of time, but I used to be off most of the day Friday, so I could do used to be able to do most of the show prep on Friday. It's not the case anymore. So, community calendar's out of the way. It's time for the news.
That's right. It's What's on Joe Mind, your one-stop shop for 2 loud show sounders.
It says you, man.
No, I like it. I'm just saying, we keep them on their toes.
I like the news one.
There's a guy at the gym who's has earbuds in and is always falling off the treadmill, and I just assume he's listening to us. Like he's like, 2 more miles, I'm doing good. Bah, 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 bah. Or a lightsaber. Or
He's probably just having a stroke.
community calendar.
He's about to touch his head and then he goes off.
Like a 50-year-old falling off his own porch in the rain.
Anyways, first news item.
Do, 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 do.
Hey, it's your last chance to get it on Action Force Declassified. That Kickstarter is wrapping up on the 31st. Be sure to check out for the exact time. Those guys are overseas, so Lord knows it's like probably 4 p.m. or something weird like that. But Phil Donnelly reminds us that we are officially declared a danger to health and safety.
We got that going for us.
About time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we've got it's a book full of prototypes and pre-production artwork from the Action Force line that Palatoy was pushing out in the early and mid 80s. There's some companion magazine. There's a companion DVD. It's got a long interview with Mr. Bob Bricken, who is the nicest man on the planet Earth. I got to touch base with him a little bit this past weekend. He's always a joy. Love it when Bob reaches out. But yeah, it looks like a fun project. It doesn't hit the wallet too hard. So if you got a few bucks, check this one out, especially now while exchange rates are good.
I'm not going to miss looking at those Cyclops guys once a week, right? In their man diapers with their Tivas and their choker collars. Like,
What?
they're creeping me out.
They're man.
I don't need to see Bub and Dub anymore. Get them out of here.
Why you got to sex everything up, Honcho?
I didn't sex it up. I just said they look weird.
Why you got to sex up the
That's
cycle?
a weird combo, man. They're wearing a diaper with Tivas and choker collars.
Why you got to draw everybody's attention to
I
their?
didn't even notice their choker collars until now.
And now you can't miss it, right?
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks, Mark.
Hey, Cyclops is my favorite X-Man. I just don't need to see these guys.
Your favorite X-Man's a weenie.
Yeah, a lot of people think that.
Nick Adams asked,
A lot of people watch Fast and the Furious movies too.
how do you dress to go out on the weekend?
None of your business.
Probably not with a diaper.
Mark's he's talking bad about the bulging loincloths because
I didn't say bulging. I said diaper.
It's implied.
Mhm.
It's implied. Next news item.
Do, 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 do.
Get him out of here. That whole mankini is freaking me out.
Mankini. Just a reminder that backer kits are still open for Operation Longbow and Operation Recall and Call Sign Longbow. I'm going to screw that up at least 2 more times.
Colbo?
Colbo. Operation Colbo. But Operation Recalls is open. You can check that out, operationrecall.backergit.com. Call Sign Longbows down to the last couple of weeks. They're going to close that one up on November 15th. So if you want to add to your pledge from their Kickstarter from over the summer, or if you are a brand new to the project, you can get in here on the ground floor. Head to longbow.backerkit.com.
I don't think people are realizing how lucky they are that Call Sign Longbow is actually came to fruition, because I almost ran Troy McKee down in a parking lot when he got between me and dinner after 9 hours with no food at JoeCon, Colorado. So I got in that car and I popped it in reverse and I'm like, whoa, I nearly hit that guy. Oh, hell, it's Troy. I like him. That would have been an even greater tragedy.
Just so everybody in the live chat knows, I'm reading your comments and I'm chuckling at them. But if I put some of those up, we're gonna get demonetized. So I have to use some kind of call here.
That's not on the rundown till later.
What's that now?
Can you read them out loud?
No, I'm not. No. That's part of that's just as bad. That's just as bad.
We're not planning on getting demonetized till later.
Yeah.
Matt Rubin says, depending on where you go on your weekends, Mark, diapers may be needed.
Hey, Joe's the one wearing a onesie on Monday. Oh, spoiler.
It's actually tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow?
Yeah.
Because Under 5 does the trick or treating on the weekends, which I didn't know.
I didn't know that.
Are you and we might as well broach the subject now. But how are you and the honcho going to try to convince these people that you're under 5?
I'm not under 5.
Me and the honcho are gonna convince
You and the wrist lock. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was like, where am I?
Oh, hang
going?
on. I was making plans.
Right.
Speaking of, Joe and I were within an hour of each other last weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't hang out.
No.
There's not a wedding.
I was not.
Well,
I'm going to dress up as Charmander in a onesie, and the wrist lock is going to do Psyduck.
Okay.
Also in a onesie.
You guys gonna get candy?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's running low. Got to refuel.
Oh. And what's the purpose of you guys going out and doing this when you're in your 40s?
The new baby niece and the 2-year-old nephew.
Yay!
That's right. Are you carrying them?
We're trying to. I was trying to coax that out so we could congratulate you on the birth of your niece, which we didn't know about before tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. I don't know if they're dressing her up, but he is going to be a little dinosaur. So I'm hoping he gets a kick out of my onesie.
And you are going to be a larger dinosaur.
Larger dinosaur.
Yeah, with
Larger
a tail
dinosaur type critter.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get into the role and only say your name.
Yeah. Charmander.
Charmander.
Squirtle.
Charmander.
Snorlax.
See, I kind of like Snorlax. He was always asleep.
Daryl DePriest's favorite Pokemon, Snorlax.
Well, that's the one that he drove a car off a cliff to catch, wasn't it?
Oh man, that was a bad drive. Jesus, Daryl's big into Pokemon. We were out in LA.
Is he really?
And he was driving, and it was like
Yes, he is.
When Pokemon Go was a big deal, right? And when you go to different cities, you've got different opportunities to land different items. So he was driving, man, and he was kind of playing the game too. And I'm in the passenger seat with my boss, and I'm like, yo, man, I'm a licensed driver. I could take over. Think how many Pokemon you could catch them all from the passenger seat. No, I'm good. I'm like,
He wanted to run them down.
Right.
I'm like, if you kill me, I'm gonna be pissed. So We got there okay, but one of the more harrowing and helpless drives of my entire life.
Would you ever do it again?
Would I do that drive again?
Yeah, with him chasing Pokemon.
Well, at the time, I thought it was the start of a long and distinguished run on G.I. Joe, so I kept my mouth shut. Had I known how it was going to go, I might have gone, yo!
Come on, man.
Yeah, pop over, I'll drive. Or pull over and I'll walk.
Remembers Daryl trying to catch Pokemon at Disneyland. So,
Yep.
See you in the forest for the trees.
That's it.
But then he also says if you were driving in LA, you couldn't have been going more than 5. So
No, because we took the 127 to the 5, and we took that all the way up to Rancho Cucamonga.
No way. The 5 is jammed.
What are you, crazy?
I know the 110 is awful. I've been
The
on
110. Yeah, but if you can get if you can get in the HOV lane, then you can get off on Rodeo, and you can take that all the way over to Santa Monica.
Through the side roads?
Why did you take the bait, Joe Colton? We've had to see this how many times now? Why did you take the bait?
I'm just gonna go visit Diana.
Right.
And
Oh,
Phil.
well, to get to Diana, you take the 110, but you get off on Paloma, and you go to Splash Boulevard. You take that all the way up.
Oh my god.
Right. I mean, you get to go visit Diana. She's pretty clearly told the rest of us to fuck off.
Swear jar.
What are you doing, Stuart?
We'll go hang out with Phil.
What if I'm just quiet?
I posted something on Facebook a couple of weeks ago that made it really vague as to where I was. And Phil was like, "You're in Los Angeles?" I'm like, "No. What are you talking about, man? If I was in Los Angeles, I'd probably be crashing on your couch. What are you talking about?"
That's it, right?
I'm in the chip aisle at Kroger. What are you talking about?
Come on, Phil. Anyways,
Danjman wants to know if driving in California is stressful.
I'm not acknowledging this. We're moving on to the next news item.
But it's not stressful if you know what you're doing.
Next news item.
Oh, man.
Hey, we got it's voting time for the Hiss Tank Tactician. Hiss backers get to log in at HasbroPulse.com and choose their favorite every day. Going back a couple days, you can still pick today, tomorrow, and the 30th for your favorite of these 6 decos. Racktime Rob, which is your favorite?
Well, I voted twice, and both times I went with Purple Guy.
All right. So you went with Delta. Mark Weber?
I haven't voted yet, but I will. And I'll vote for Purple
You get
Guy.
one per day.
Yeah,
So-
but that's bullshit.
Come on.
Right?
It's like All-Star voting.
Vote
as
once
often as
per
you can.
day. Pump up our page clicks. Come more, buy more often. Vote once. That's what it should be. Vote once.
Cranky old man really doesn't want his purple hiss.
I mean, how obvious a marketing ploy is vote once per day? Come on.
How obvious a marketing ploy is any of it, Mark?
What a joke. Vote once.
Oh,
Like God intended. And I'll vote for the Purple Guy because he's the most different.
right. Joe Colton, save us from this lunacy.
Can't you wait till elections or vote once per day? It'll be great.
Be fantastic.
I'm sorry.
Joe Colton, which is your favorite?
It's a tie between the top middle row, the red and black guy, and
How you doing?
He's my number 2.
yeah, I like purple guy and that guy.
He's number
The
2.
fuck? I'm allowed to like what I like.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I'm allowed to boo it.
Ugh. Rob likes the red guy too.
See, I understand the rationale behind the red guy. Like they want the red guy. Everybody seems to like the red guy because his head matches the other ones, like the driver and the gunner. But that's fine and good. It's just the deco underneath that helmet is terrible. So I'd rather have somebody who looks completely different if that's what they're going to put out there.
All right.
I do like purple
Now
guy.
my next vote, I'm going in for red and black guy.
Yeah. Thank you. We can switch.
There you go.
Oh wow, that was cool.
What is it? Overmodulated night?
Fantastic.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Oh, no, don't do that.
Vote for Purple Guy. He's part blue, part purple.
I'm voting for Purple Guy tomorrow.
He's kind of purple.
But
he's the grape razzle.
That's it. He tastes like Razzles.
I'll be happy with any of the other 5, frankly. I'm voting for Purple Guy. Delta. I'll be happy with any of the other 5. I just don't like I don't like Bravo. I don't care for it.
Are you voting every day?
I am. I have so far.
You're assisting your clicks.
I have to balance out Paige Wagner's votes. I have to cancel out Paige. I don't have the opportunity to do that very much. Paige is a well-connected collector with an extensive collection, particularly in hard-to-find paperwork. But this is the one place where I can stand on even ground with Paige and cancel out his Bravo votes with Delta.
What's really going to happen is that we're going to find out that they've stuffed the ballot in Kansas City, and we're going to get all Royals.
Bravo is Ron Rudat's favorite, but he also likes the Patriots. So
right, throw him out. Matt Rubin says, "Here's the thing with the Delta. Delta's uniform looks so close to a Techno Viper. Just need a new head and different accessories." I disagree. I like that he's that color, but that's because he's a tactician. He's not a frontline fighter. He's like a Techno Viper, like a Toxo Viper. He is Cobra support staff. So I like that color coordination.
They're never going to get to Techno Viper with all these brand new characters they're coming up with.
Right. But Nomad's Wandering. My give a damn is broken. Couldn't back it due to price. We get that.
There you go.
It's all right.
Ooh.
We have to talk about it. It's news.
Could the Purple Guy's nickname be Sour Grapes? That's awesome.
David Allen has the right idea. I am the best. But that's Cellar Dweller says, "I'm with Joe. Red Shin Guards guy is the top choice." That is incorrect, but thank you for joining us. That's a new name. We appreciate your joining us here in the team stream.
Thanks for coming. Let me shut you down.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, that's what happens here.
I guess that's
Hayes the new guy.
Look, he got on camera. What do you want from me?
Right.
He posed an opinion. I very gently disagreed. What do you want?
We are kind of known for having our definitive lists here. So,
But, Alistair Kefferth, the A-lister, Red and Black Wolfpack's back,
Wolf Squad, I believe,
and they've
best sub team ever.
they've climbed into the ring and blown a quad.
Where that poor guy, there's a backyard video of the guy dressed as Sting coming out to the wolf pack. He jumps off the ropes and both his legs go backwards. All he did was jump off the ropes, land on his own feet.
Cellar Dweller's Cullen. He's been here every week.
Oh,
Let him out of the cellar, Diana.
I honestly didn't know that was his hand.
Right. Jesus, Diana.
Well, Cullen's the man, and you were rude to him.
I wasn't rude to him. I just disagreed with him.
Who's watching the dogs?
They're watching the show.
Apparently.
We're entertaining. We are multi-species entertainment.
Then where's the cat?
Cats don't care.
Yeah, probably not.
Cat's off cleaning himself somewhere. He's fine.
Eating the dog food while they're watching the show.
That's what Dad's cat does.
Right? He's a chomp. Next news item. Oh, wait, yeah, I'm sorry. It's still got the previous news item. Fanvote.hasbropulse.com. Cast your vote once per day if you're a Haslab Hiss banker.
What? Did you say Hiss spanker?
Hiss banker.
That's the same thing.
So, yeah, like if you're the guy in the back of the Hiss that's counting the money.
He's got the money briefcase.
Hey, at $300 a pop, they need one of those guys.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, come on.
That's what I'm surprised didn't come with the tow hitch. Just a cart full of money.
They should have they have the burning $100 bill stack from the Destro, right? They should have put that in. Just had one guy in the back just going, yeah, look at this.
Oh,
I'd have bought two.
Oh. Anyways. Okay, I have to try not to cough. I'm sorry. Next news item. Hey, and yesterday was Hasbro Pulse's 1027 event for premium members, which wound up being for everybody. But hey, that's all right.
Are
sure.
you, why are you shaking your head?
What's that?
Why is Rob shaking his head?
Because apparently they just like threw it up on YouTube, but the whole week was, hey, you got to be a premium member, and we're going to send you the link. In fact, they sent me the email with the link, and they said, "Don't forward it for God's sakes." I was like, "Yeah, whatever." But
sure,
like anyone else I would know would care, but
that right. The people that you know that care are on this show with you.
Yeah.
And Phil.
I'll forward it to Dad, see what he thinks.
Right. I'm sure he'll be glad to know what's going on.
Yeah. Throw something at me the next time we see him.
No, he'll just be confused. He'll just be like, what was that?
Don't worry, you didn't miss much, Dad.
No, really, especially if you're in for G.I. Joe, there really wasn't a whole lot going on. This was the bulk of it right here. Chuckles is coming to Declassified in 2023. So William J's Everywhere Can Rejoice. That's second only to Cutter.
He texted me and said, "Guess what's coming in 2023?" And Sean Roussel had already told me, and I was like, "Do you want me to act surprised that you're excited?" I ruined his surprise.
But yeah, so Chuckles will be there. So enjoy Chuckles. I know we're getting to that point where there's not a whole lot of even B-list characters that haven't been touched upon.
Yeah.
We're getting into that fan favorite category.
Which is just going to kick sales through the roof.
Right. But I like there's still plenty of guys that will move the needle. Maybe they're not as important as seen on our definitive lists, but they are still like people still like them.
I'm excited about hopefully a removable shoulder holster, right? Because
I can't see them not doing that.
Because
I mean, consider that was an original accessory on the figure. Yeah,
you did that in 1987 at a 4-inch scale. There's no way you can not do that at 6 inches.
And I have an extra breaker because I didn't have a breaker and waved the flag, and 2 of my buddies helped me out. So, including some in this room. But I've got I will do a lazy bastard custom now and then. So there might be a Steeler in the future somewhere, and I could use a good shoulder holster. So
there you go.
Come on down, Chuckles. You're going to come with one weapon, and I'm going to take it from you. You'll feel like a Marvel figure.
Right.
Or a Star Wars guy. Here I am.
So I guess the question for the panel is, if you were going to, to this point, we've always had 2 name reveals at a time. It was always, it was Rock and Roll and Shipwreck. It was Low Light and the Trouble Bubble, I think, whatever. So Chuckles is a solo act. Who's the one guy you'd pair up to come with Chuckles? Who would be next on your list? Joe Colton, why don't you go first?
Paired up?
I mean, it doesn't have to be a partner for him. Just like, what's the next figure that you would have put?
Low Light.
We already know about Low Light.
I know.
Low Light's already coming. So
Low Light's already taken. He's not on your list.
Version 2.
Somebody else.
Version 25.
Dino for Low Light.
Version 2 with the beard.
With the beard, yeah. Quinn.
Ooh, Quinn would be good.
Oh, that's a good pick.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
Because he'd be big too, right? He'd be like roadblock big. And
yeah. That's a good pick. Ragtime Rob, what do you think?
Alpine.
Honcho Mark Weber.
Mercer.
Who do you really think?
Mercer would sell, but Interrogator would be.
I would buy him.
Would be my pick because I love some Interrogator.
I'd buy a Mercer and then I'd strap a bottle rocket to him.
Oh my god. You have an irrational hatred for Mercer.
It's not irrational. I'm just leaning into it.
I'd love to see one. I mean, it's not going to happen now, obviously, but the first time we get an October Guard figure, feeling that means there's probably a couple more coming. Maybe not all of them. They're not all winners.
Yeah.
But boy, there's a quartet that. But I get the feeling they're not going to touch Russian military right now.
No.
So yeah, give me Interrogator. I love Interrogator.
I would go Cobra Eel.
Yeah, Eel's good.
Oh,
They have
yeah.
one with the eel.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Troop builder. That's a good
He's
call.
the last big troop builder out there, I think.
Mhm.
There's snow serpents too, but if we're gonna have a torpedo,
They announced the snow serpent, didn't they?
that's right, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is honestly, it's hard to keep the reveals straight because they're so far out.
Yeah.
I've put
Right.
together so many cheapo graphics. That,
I think we need an Excel spreadsheet.
yeah, we probably do. Anyways, I would go Cobra Eel.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's the one piece of actual news that came out of 10/27 in regards to G.I. Joe.
I didn't watch it. Was it the Joe team that revealed it, or was it just some jabroni?
No, it was Lenny and Emily, and that was just the Joe segment. Literally took 5 minutes.
Oh.
Emily was the host of one of the hosts of the whole thing, and so they just kind of did their man on the street bit, and Lenny was one of those, and they did 5 minutes of G.I. Joe and moved on to other stuff.
Okay.
And there was some neat stuff shown for other lines, but this wasn't G.I. Joe's turn.
How long was the whole thing all told?
It was 2 hours.
Huh.
They filled the 2 hours.
Yeah, but I mean, they spent a long time, like with the Ghostbusters team, talking about the Proton Pack because that's coming soon, and they spent a long time talking about the Transformers HasLab.
But pre-orders open at HasbroPulse.com. I believe they are sold out at this point. But if they decide to reopen them again, Serpentor showed up at $79.99. Dr. Mindbender was at $41.99.
Just as they were before.
Right. So I was surprised Dr. Mindbender made another round because this would be the third one for him. But kudos to you if you're able to get into this. We told you this was going to happen.
Yeah. Remember at the time when a lot of people were freaking out about the limited availability of Serpentor. Just give it time. If it's never available again, then yeah, freak out. But come on.
At least give an opportunity for it to happen.
Yeah. Come on. Fahuka guys.
And I think they actually lasted each a couple hours. Yeah. Like Andrew said.
They were open this morning when I looked, and I've got a job, so I couldn't check all day. But
that's not true. Well, half not true.
I mean, I have a job. I don't do anything when I'm there. I'm filling a chair. Today my biggest job duty today was testing out different brands of ramen noodles to determine which one I want to buy in bulk to take as an affordable lunch.
You said duty.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I've been watching the new Beavis and Buttheads. It's a beautiful program. It's worth the price of Paramount Plus on its own.
Can't do it.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Well, you can see how me sending Paramount money directly would be kind of hard.
Got to let some of this stuff go, man.
No. Some of it I don't.
That's true. That's fair. But
at least we got a new movie out of it.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure.
That, me, Mike, and 5 other people saw.
Single tear rolls down cheek. Sure. As time goes on, I realize that the B- grade I gave that movie was entirely too high.
Yeah.
I think you were still stunned by Akiko's survival.
I think so. I think that really did give me some feel-good vibes.
Yeah,
so.
You were wandering around like a Street Fighter guy about to lose.
Next news item.
Do, 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 do.
Hey, it's Chunky Tank Kitty and his Meowler Tank. Brought to you by Kokomo Toys. and we're going to hear from them right now.
We buy, sell, and trade vintage and modern toys. G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Transformers, Marvel, DC, and more. Located in beautiful downtown Kokomo, Indiana, we are open every Wednesday through Saturday from 12 to 5. It's a theme park of nostalgia. Join the thousands of people who have traveled from all over the Midwest for over a decade to buy and sell with us. Get your geek on.
Ooh, can I answer Captain K's question?
Yeah, I was going to toss that one up there for you. But Jeffrey has the question, what happened with Paramount? And I presume that means with Mark.
Yeah, and I guess I went a little too inside baseball, and that's great. Or
but before we do that, let me close out the news officially.
Yeah, you don't want to leave the news open.
No.
Right? It'll get kind of gamey.
Riff Raff can wander in.
So Captain K asked, what happened with Paramount? And again, presumably with Mark.
Yeah, so I moved to New England in 2012 to join the Transformers team and did some good work for them on their generation segment. 900% improvement over 2 years, not bad. And then they had an opening on Joe and offered it to me, and I said, absolutely. G.I. Joe's my first love. Can't wait to do it under the auspice of you'll be brand managing for the third G.I. Joe film, which will be the tip of the spear for the new Hasbro cinematic universe, which is Mask and Micronauts and Action Man and ROM and all this good stuff. But it's got to start with Joe. Paramount won't start it without Joe because G.I. Joe is the only one with proven theatrical success. Whether you like them or not, the first two G.I. Joe movies made money, and the second one did really well overseas. So there was, believe it or not, some momentum within Paramount for a third G.I. Joe film. So that was the auspice at which I joined the G.I. Joe brand, was to make figures for this third movie. But if it wasn't a movie product, we were restricted to an item count of like 4 or 5 for a year, going straight to Toys R Us. And so I moved over and, read a script, and it got trashed and it got pushed back. I read a new script and it got, not a whole script, but like a treatment. And that one got trashed. And then one got pushed back a couple times. And before you know it, the Joe movie got delayed, I think 6 or 7 times in my 2.5 years on the brand. And just about when it was finally cluing in on me that I'm not really making toys for a movie now, am I? Is when I got the, hey, Mark, yeah, come with me. Oh, and that's when they eliminated my position because they didn't need a brand manager not making movie toys for a movie that wasn't being made. So if there's a more salient reason why anybody out there can't budge on shipping actual money from their pocket to Paramount's hands, that's it.
I feel partially responsible because back when we talked to John Chu after the retaliation was released, I teased him about how long he thought it was going to take them to get delayed or to delay G.I. Joe 3. And it got big laughs, and then they went and delayed G.I. Joe 3.
There you go.
Yeah, so so kind of my bad. This ability to forecast the future, it's a blessing and it's a curse.
Direct all hate mail to Mike. No pipe bombs. I got to live here too.
Shut up. Isn't Sergeant Slaughter shipping from Big Bad Toy Store News? It is, but when it's news that hits at 3:30 on Friday afternoon, it's news for next week.
That's it. So
bigger news is when Sarge is in our hands. So
yeah, act surprised next week.
Right? Sorry, I got a job. I can't just come home and throw stuff into the middle of stuff that's already put together. I got limits. But got another pushback on Target's Tiger Force Outback to November 11th. That'll be the 6th date change since September. I saw some pictures popping up on Twitter today of that figure being sighted on the shelves in Arizona. So that makes everybody feel better. We'll bring more about that if there's more to be had.
Yeah, you want a spoiler? Spoiler alert! Ready? Spoiler alert! You're not getting it from Target.
Find some Canadian friends.
Mm-hmm. I have one. She's very nice.
A Canadian friend.
Mm-hmm.
They're all very nice.
She's on the show right. No, she's on the show right now.
We have several Canadian friends connected. Other Canadian friends connected to the show.
That's true.
Joe is an American now.
Yes, I'm dual actually.
Dual. She's both.
Yeah, I refuse to give it up just in case.
just in case we gotta bail.
Diehard 3.75 says, Mark, can you tell me the design ideas / story ideas that helped come up with Tombstone and Stiletto?
I mean, Stiletto's easy because it wasn't ours. That was the fan vote based off the Kindle World stories. So that's Bill Nedro's character. So it was 100% him. And his stories are great. I loved his Joe fiction was my favorite of the stuff. And there was some really good stuff. And I would have liked to have made the other three. That was Whisper and Blackjack and Adventure Team Marcus. I would like to have made those moving on had there been a continuation. Tombstone came from my Transformer days. We searched up Tombstone as a name and nobody owned it in toy. And so I was aiming and trying to get there to make a Decepticon that transformed into a hearse. And we were going to call him Tombstone, and he was going to be creepy with like skulls and, not over the top, but cool. Right. And I really wanted, I wanted to get there. It was going to be all black and gray and it was going to be cool. But I ended up getting off the brand. So it never quite got done, but I knew that name had been available and I wanted to save it. And it's a cool name. So when we did we're doing the 2-packs for Toys R Us, we were trying to find like natural rivalries. That's why we did Snake Eyes versus Storm Shadow. I mean, that's an easy pick. But we wanted to find someone to go opposite Duke. And so I wanted to make essentially Duke's equivalent on the Cobra team. And the idea was, and this was, I think the planning of it was a year and a half before the first Black Panther movie came out. But my vision for Tombstone is pretty much what Michael B. Jordan did as Killmonger in that first Black Panther movie. Mm-hmm. I wanted a villain who had, some style to him and was just a little bit vain. Because so many of your villains in any franchise, they're always scarred or twisted or cut up or maimed somehow. I wanted a guy who was actually handsome and proud of his appearance. And I think Claymore may have been the only fully African-American Cobra to that point.
And so pretty minor.
Yeah. And so I wanted, and I don't know if they avoided that early on in the Joe line, that they didn't want to have minorities who I want to be really careful how I say this, but in entertainment and in cinema, they often cast villains as minorities, which was probably covert or maybe even overt racism. And so I don't know if they avoided it, but what we got was a Cobra organization that even the rank and file didn't have much ethnic diversity, and evil knows no boundaries, right? So I wanted to make a kind of vain African-American bad guy equivalent to Duke. And the line I always used to pitch it was, I want a guy who's going to blow up the Hoover Dam and wait for the news choppers to get there so they get his good side, right? That's what I wanted. And instead, the designer gave him an X-crossed scar over one eye and made him, maimed like every other villain ever. So he didn't turn out. And the prototype, if you remember, when we had him at JoeCon, they had painted both eyes. So I didn't notice that they had actually gone different. That was the first time I'd actually seen that head sculpt. And both eyes were painted. And I'm like, okay, it's not quite what I was looking for, but it's not bad. And then when the actual final production came out, he had one eye was shut with the X scar over it. And I'm like, so we made basically African-American Major Blood. Good for us. So there you go. Long story long.
Oh, well, at least he got there.
Yeah. I didn't get to make much, but I'm super proud of the new characters that we made. Sightline, for obvious reasons, who was already developed, but the concept to make him an homage for Gary goggles, Gary Head. That was my idea, even though I never met Gary. I knew what he meant to the community, and I'm still kind of surprised that we got that approved. But between him finally getting Shooter done, who'd been an oversight for 20, well, not 20 years, but 10 years anyway, since the Devil's Due comic, Stiletto, which is a great character from a great story and a great fig, and Tombstone, pretty proud of those. In a short run, those are some nice new characters that we added, and I'm always hopeful that we'll see them in the comics, right? And that it was a bummer, I thought, that Sightline finally made it into a real American hero, and he didn't look anything like Gary once they took the helmet off.
Right.
Like,
That's a dude.
That's a miss, but
right. At least make him bald.
Right?
Yeah.
Beta Ray Bob, is Hasbro ever going to get around to doing something with Micronauts? If not, when will they lose the license so someone else can do something with Micronauts? Wouldn't hold your breath at this point.
Yeah. I mean, you can back time it to when the last product hit retail, right? So, and if somebody else does an Acroyer or something, it kind of resets the timer. But that's the last thing I made. Like I barely had a finger on that Cobra Missile Command set. That was actually Daryl's idea, and Bobby Valla did all the development on it. I barely had a touch on that, so I don't claim that. But the other San Diego Comic-Con set, the Revolution set, I think they called it. But that was the one that had Action Man and Rom and, Dire Wraith Doc. And that whole thing was a play to protect the trademarks, was to put out a retail product. And Comic-Con products count. That would let Hasbro say, okay, we used Micronauts in a retail product, and now it resets the timer. So in a way, it was a smart way without eating up a bunch of new tooling or launching full lines for stuff that there was no entertainment. And for a lot of, well, there were comics at the time, but it was a way to protect those trademarks. So that entire set was really, it tied into what IDW was doing, but it was really to protect those trademarks from a toy standpoint.
Torpedo Mike's asking, was it a missed opportunity on the G.I. Joe Nerf Hyperfire? Getting a simulated phaser rifle, but no new sculpt Nerf XMLR2. And yeah. Look, I'm even okay with reconfiguring an existing model, but man, that thing's hideous.
Ooh.
Just
it was.
Yes.
This was a pitch I made regarding the G.I. Joe 3 movie, which was going to be a continuation of the first two, was that every Joe, and some of it they did, like the first wave of Classified, they all had the same comlink thing.
Right.
And I thought, I mean, having the Joes have unique uniforms is really important to at least the Real American Hero time of the brand. But I thought it would be really cool to have stuff that did tie them together as belonging to the same team. And one of the bits I wanted to do was to have a kind of uniform sidearm, right? I would never have a uniform weapon that would replace Scarlet's crossbow or Snake Eyes' Uzi or the things that you want to see in the hands of your favorite heroes. But most of them have a pistol on their hip or in a shoulder holster or something. And I wanted to make one that was signature, cool, and nerfable. So Nerf could sell it, and kids, God forbid we market to kids, could have the sidearm of the official G.I. Joe sidearm.
Right.
Not that they would ever call it a sidearm, no. But I thought that was full of wind, and this is not even close to that concept. But okay, thanks for coming, I guess. Nobody's buying that.
Half the super completist comic guys are buying it.
Oh.
And considering we've got Racktime Rob on this show, who is as super comic guy as you can get, and he ain't going to come within 10 feet of the Nerf gun.
That is $80 I can spend somewhere else.
$80, half Joe, half Cobra, all ugly.
All ugly.
I know they have to be neon. I get that. I'm not holding that against them.
Yeah, no, that's not the problem. But make a brilliantly loud green one for Joe and make a brilliantly loud blue one for Cobra. And doctor those up in some specific patterns for each other, and let that be like sell two $40 guns.
Yep. Right? Instead of selling no $80 guns.
Yeah.
Oh, so anyways, Halloween's in a couple days, as Joe Colton has already told us her plans. So we did want to take a little bit of time today and go through some of our favorite Halloween pictures, whether they be from the past or from the present, or even in Joe Colton's case, from the future.
The future, Conan?
No, nothing like that. Anyways, she's good, but she's not that good. I mean, so, but up first, we've got a couple of favorites from the honcho, Mark Weber. And perhaps you'd like to give us the story behind these.
So this was the same Halloween, and this is I would like to pat myself on my back for my yellow belt Photoshop skills. Joe, try to spot all the Wonder Women in the bottom row there, because I had to. God, that took forever. I was trying to black out. This is the famous Crisis on Infinite Earths cover. That I'm in the Superman pose, but in the original cover, his cape is covering up the whole middle row, the middle of the bottom row.
Yeah.
So I didn't have said cape. So anyway, same Halloween. This is in Arizona. Elizabeth is probably 2. Yeah, 2, I think.
For reference, she is 14.
Yeah. So that's my daughter there, and my son too, and the Spider-Man. And the best part of this is Arizona Halloween, which sucks because it's like 92 degrees at 7 o'clock at night.
God.
So Derek only wore the mask for this one photo, and then it was off, and he never wore it again. So Halloween in Arizona's awful because you get the little fun-sized candy bars, and they're already squishy in your hand when you get them.
Oh,
It's just awful. So anyway, so the Spider-Man speaks for itself. You know, I put it on the Amazing Fantasy debut cover badly. But the Crisis was awesome because I didn't plan it. I just saw Elizabeth in her Supergirl outfit, and I'm like, "Hey, Michelle, get a picture of me with Biz." And I'm like, "Elizabeth, come here." So she ran over, and I picked her up, and I struck the pose, and my eyes were shut, and I waited, and I didn't hear anything, or I didn't hear, okay, we're good. And I opened one eye and looked at Michelle, and she's like, is it time to go? Or, and I'm like, yes, snap the photo. Because I've been frozen in this pose for like 10 seconds, in the driveway. And I'm like, yeah, snap the photo. And she said, that's the look you're going for? And I'm like, I just snapped the photo. I'll explain it later. So there you go. That was one of our more memorable Halloweens back in Arizona, where Halloween sucks.
And so we got another round from the honcho as well.
Oh yeah, this is later on. What do you think about that, Joe Colton?
This is great.
There's a new Wonder Woman in town.
So great. She's adorable.
I mean, it's a little young to be going strapless, but whatever. And I think he's still got that Snake Eyes costume in the closet somewhere.
I bet the mask still fits.
Good. And he did Storm Shadow once too, because he was in karate and he had a white gi. So that was the easiest Halloween ever. Here, wear this mask. And off we go. So, but yeah, this was young in Rhode Island. So she's probably 5 maybe, and he's 8.
All right.
There you go.
And so this is Joe Colton, and you were just wearing this a couple weeks ago. What show did you take this to?
I took it to Dragon Con.
There you go.
Yeah.
And this is madness, and I mean that in all the great ways. You've got bats coming out of your back.
I do, and they have no eyes.
Well, no, they don't need eyes.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Tell us who this is and where they're from. And
so this is Stranger Things. It's Vecna. So this girl online in Germany had done a upside down dress, which is very similar, if not almost the same as the one that I made, but I was inspired by her. And I wanted to make it a Vecna dress, so it wasn't the same as hers. And so I made it a little different and painted it slightly different. And then I made his hand. and I added the crazy bats that are in the show for Stranger Things, and I did crazy makeup. But I still wanted to be pretty, but just insane. So there's some photos that are going to be coming out with me looking just maniacal.
It is kind of prom Vecna.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
So we tried to do, like, she and I were talking about it, and there's like a slight, like, there's a line between being a monster in a dress and being the dress is on a monster. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's like more like horror couture almost, rather than like you're just gory in a dress. Because I had the mask and everything, and Wes was like, too much, no. And I was like, okay. So
now, obviously, I've never seen this live. How sturdy are the bats, and how do they actually attach?
So they're on armature wire. They're very sturdy. I had to take them apart with the wings and like deconstruct the whole bat and then rebuild it and then put them on the armature. The wire that you can see is bendable, but it's also like it's down my corset, and so like I can make them fly in front of me or beside me, and they just stay in place. But
was there a realistic fear that people were going to run into the bats? Or the
yes,
bats were going to
and
get
they
knocked?
did. And then a lady didn't see that there was a person, and like I guess she walked into it and then freaked the F out when she opened her eyes, because I guess she hit the wing or something. I was not facing her, and all I hear is this death cry. And I was like, "Are you okay?" And she was like, "It's fine." So,
Con Adventures with Joe Colton.
Yeah, and the bottom is all like tubing. That is like wire, and it's wrapped by bubble wrap and then plastic and plasti dipped and then hand paint. Well, then it's wood glue and acrylic glue, then plasti dipped, then hand painted. So the whole thing is hand painted.
Nick Adams fits in with, I love Halloween. I bought little clown baby heads and hid them around my daughter's room, who happens to be terrified of clowns. I heard her scream from the other side of the house. It was awesome.
That's awesome and also terrifying.
She'll be taking care of you one day.
Right.
Yep.
Just saying.
Remember those clowns?
Mhm. When that Metamucil tastes spicy, yeah.
What smells like almonds?
Right.
Hey, that's quick and painless. That's all you can ask for.
Iocane powder.
Right? And then, of course, we've got Joe Colton as Serpentor with Mark. Just before Joe Colton had to run for the exit.
Right.
I'm actually going to be remaking that entire armor.
Okay.
With built-in fans.
Yeah, with vents.
No.
Oh no.
I'm just going to not make it with foam. I'm going to make it with a thermoplastic. So it'll be.
Was it the material that made it so borderline unbearable?
Yeah, because foam. So I'm wearing the suit, and then I foam on top, and it traps heat. And so I stopped sweating and started blacking out.
So you'll be wearing this to Alaska Con.
Right. Fairbanks Con. Where all the special guests parachute in.
Coming soon, the guest of honor at Medicine Hat Con and Kamloops Con. Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, from the Mike and Rob collection, we bring you back to, come on, Mouse. We bring you back to Halloween 1981, the safest Halloween in Baldwin, New York, on record.
That's outstanding.
Those were such amazing costumes. Our grandma made them.
That's great.
Yeah, so that's Rob as Batman, of course. I was Robin.
Oh.
We did that 2 years, and then I was Batman a third year, which there's no pictures of because by that point, nobody cared. But
Where's the other brother and Stinky?
This would have been 1981 Halloween. It would have been 4 days before she was born.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then Jimmy would have just been 2 years old. So
Yeah.
he had a costume, but I don't remember what it was.
Oh, tell me it was Batmite.
No,
No, it was
no,
not.
wasn't anything that cool. But Phil Donnelly comments on Rob's old man waistline. I think that's just comes from Rob being a little nerd.
It's the Adam West look.
Yeah.
Dude, look at the smile though. You're so proud to be in that.
Oh, dude, I mean, those costumes still exist. They're at my dad's place, and every so often we see them. And I mean, obviously it wouldn't fit on my leg today, but when I see that costume, I still puff up a little bit.
That's awesome.
It was just it was the Halloween memory at our house.
I think in the second grade, my mom made me a Greatest American Hero costume because it wasn't a big enough hit to have actual costumes you could buy.
Right.
So it was really just a red sweatshirt and sweatpants, but she had to stitch the logo on, right? And then make a black cape for me. And I was the only Greatest American Hero in Bend, Oregon. So that was a good Halloween. I remember that one.
The William Cat Afro wig?
No, because I'm not going to cover this up. I mean, come on.
That'd be a lot of hair.
It would be. Talk about hot.
Like the whole dog would have to die for that one.
Yeah, I'd only wear that if it came with Play Along Connie Selica.
Well, I mean,
sorry, you just get stuck with Robert Culp.
Oh.
Yeah, you just get.
Didn't Connie Selica marry John Tesh?
I don't know.
I think that's true.
I know she later would star in Alex Haley's Hotel.
Oh, now you're talking.
I mean, I know I'm not necessarily saying you're wrong. I don't know.
If only there was some way to research that. Yeah.
Right.
Well, move along, but I'll have an update.
And that's the end. That is our trip down Halloween. Joe Colton is touched.
All my young photos are with my parents, so I scoured the house today, and Mom's like, "Oh, I have all of your pictures here in an album. It's called Halloween," and she's made me costumes and so she's gonna mail it to me, but it's gonna be over. What can I do?
We'll have it for next year.
Yeah.
Provided we're still doing this madness.
Yes, of course we will.
Right? I mean, it was fun. It's been 11 to this point. So.
Yeah.
That brings us up to what we got in. And oh my God, if your house is anything like our house,
you got it a lot.
Shit's starting to come in. All these pre-orders from the end of time are starting to cash out. Rack Time Rob, why don't you go ahead and kick this up?
All righty. Settle in. Like I mentioned a couple weeks ago, look, comic accurate Black Panther.
Nice. With the popped preppy collar. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, with the cape. Yeah. I believe they were going for first appearance, which he was wearing when he first showed up for the Fantastic Four. But we have O-Ring.
Nice.
Stinger.
Not here yet, but coming soon.
Yes. And we have not one, not two, but three. Viper 3-pack came in.
That was a little extra drama.
Yeah. Well, hey, showmanship.
Mm-hmm.
We got Kamakura.
That's kind of rough.
We've got
Mike stealing the spotlight when you're showing off your toys.
Crimson Twins. And the unabashed star of this particular assortment, Stalker.
Yeah, he's big time.
Yeah, I don't put the little shawl thing on there. I don't like that. But
I was.
He can wear that when he's older.
Yeah, when there's a bit of a chill in the air,
right? When he's watching his stories on TV.
Yeah.
I was, those three figures are numbered 44, 45, 46. I was really hoping they would have Tomax at 44, Stalker at 45, and Zaymot at 46, just to piss everyone off. But, alas, it was not to be. But what else you got, Racktime Rob?
That was it.
All right. How about the honcho Mark Webber?
I mean, I think it's a big week for almost everybody out there, right? So there's a lot of stuff arriving. So the Stinger's not even here yet. It's on the way. I actually did, for the first time in a long time, I canceled a pre-order on purpose. And it was just the early returns on that His Tank Megatron are not great. And it was a buy for me anyway. It's $80. Right. So I'm out. I'm not doing the His Tank Megatron or the Ostriker Bumblebee. So I backed out on those. But hang on, let me do the camera thing because I put them all in the corner over there. So next to the Rampage machine. But there's some Crimson Guard back there. There's the Viper 3-pack, the Snake Eyes and Timber. Stalkers back there. A couple of the Cobra Troopers from Big Bad Toy Store, Tomax and Zaymot. I mean, it was some run. But I did the group shot because I wanted to give the spotlight to some singles. So I don't do a lot of the Super 7 stuff. And 5 points of articulation isn't my jam. But I thought this was a pretty inspired pick from them. The blonde cover girl from Sunbow.
Yeah.
So if this is what if they're going to do 5 points and they're not stuck with, but if Sunbow is going to be what they're allowed to do freely, cool. So I got that. If it's different enough, you might get me. So red-headed girl Cobra Trooper, I gotta support the brand, and by brand I mean the brand. And this dude, right? The Cobra Shock Trooper.
Yeah, those guys are pretty neat. They were for a long time. They were on the wish list for me for something maybe the club would do or would roll out from Hasbro, non-repaint division.
Yeah, different enough. I'll make him like a mechanic on the stiletto, right? Like he has a job, so that's fine. Sure. And then I'm still a Transformers guy if it's one of my three. So this Prowl doesn't transform, but he's pretty good. I like the gun. So there is a lot of Joe back there, but for this week, focus on Super 7. I don't like everything that they're doing, but I like generally what they're doing, and once in a while they'll hook me in.
Right. I mean, the stuff they do, as we've said every time, it's not for everybody.
Right.
But it's for somebody.
Yeah,
certainly.
And I'm not mad at it. I'm glad there's more Joe to go around, and right. once in a while, yeah, it's something I want. So
more Joe is better Joe, regardless of what you think of that individual item. Somebody's going to like it.
And a 5 points of articulation vehicle driver, I can put that cover girl in a Wolverine, and she won't look awful. Not as bad as she will trying to run around the battlefield like this. Or I will fix your tank. Like, okay.
But, we'll get Joe Colton when she comes back. She had to step away for just a second. I got a lot of the same stuff. I haven't had a chance to really open mine yet, but there's Kamakura. You get Mark out of the spotlight there, so you can nod in peace. There's Kamakura with his weird box art.
Yeah.
I'm not as mad about it as some people are, but I'm not as mad about most things as people are. But and there's that Stalker Tomax Zaymot wave. Again, it'll always have a warm spot in my heart because way back when we released the names of everything that was coming out in 2022.
Oops.
Right. Way back when we did that. Everybody that was the spot where everybody said we were lying.
Right.
There's no way they're going to do Tomax and Zaybot separately. Oh no chance. They're making shit up at that. If I was making that up, do you think I would put them separately? Madness, I tell you.
It reminds me when Doc Holliday flops the cards in Tombstone with the winning hand and goes, "Oops."
and then we got a box today, which I haven't even had a chance to get open yet. So we're gonna do that now.
Live.
Oh, I got a request. Do the laugh. Oh, that's good.
And in fairness, we had planned to anniversary that, revealing the entire next year's worth of stuff.
Yeah.
But they got a lot tougher.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They didn't like that.
Yeah.
we pissed
And-
people
and-
off.
I have been on the other side of it, and it sucks. When you've got the deck you've been working on for 3 months and something gets leaked the week of the show, and you're like, cool, I'll just delete those 2 slides.
We knocked out the better part of 6 months.
Longer with all the delays.
Right. At least 6 months worth of reveal. It's exciting time. Exciting time on the live stream. Yeah.
Careful of that knife, man.
I'll even safety up and put it all the way back.
There you go.
Hey, stingers are here.
There you go.
Hey. I got 2 of them because Lord knows the original stingers are falling apart at the seams.
Yeah, dude, get as many as you can and just sell the steering wheels.
Right? Replacement part stingers. No, it's not. Right. That Viper Scout sums it up well. They're spoiling their own releases now. Kind of the truth.
Yeah.
That's there's a lot to that statement. But that's what I got in. I don't do any other lines like Racktime Rob does. With his Marvel and his DC and his I don't even know what else. That's kind of it.
His punchy Superman mobiles.
Sometimes no, I got one of those. Come on, Supermobile is a classic. His occasional foray into robots. But Joe Colton, what'd you get in this week?
Oh, a mute
You're on
button,
mute.
apparently.
No audio. We were overdue.
It was inevitable.
It-
So I got another delivery, like a second delivery.
Ooh.
You got twins of the twins.
Is that Coy and Vance, the replacement Tomax and Zayma?
I don't know what happened. Like I looked through, like maybe I went to Big Bad Toy Store and like bought it from them and then ordered them off Amazon. Nope.
Yep.
They just sent me another set and I didn't get charged, so I'm like, I don't know who to tell them.
It's probably more hassle than it's worth. If you don't need them, just pay it forward.
Yep.
Andrew Gaugan, the deep pull for Mark on Coy and Vance.
I'm here.
I guess
here to help, man.
More accurately, it probably would have been Coy and Yoke. Whatever.
Coy and Yoke. Coy and Yoke.
Coy and Yoke. Now they're starting to sound like backup Schmengies. Second string Schmengies. What else you got, Colton?
I was just gonna say somebody's got to have red ninjas to trade.
Back
for
on
those.
mute, so we can't hear what you're saying.
That's it.
That's it. That's everything.
Yeah, I didn't.
Bonus twins.
Yeah.
All right.
I
So if you
didn't.
don't,
I didn't buy the Kamakura because it was like I not really like it.
well, it's the first fully boxed one, and it's the start of learning how regrettable having varied box art for every character is going to look very soon.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
not that everything has to be Garrido, right?
Right.
But if it had a uniform look, these would look a lot better moving forward, I think.
Yeah.
Phil Don-
I'm surprised that they didn't go with what they're doing on Marvel Legends, because Black Panther was fully boxed, no plastic, but the front panel is a picture of the figure
Mhm.
posed out.
Yeah, that's okay too.
I mean they could have done that for
Probably have
the
contract
classifieds.
with Phil. Phil Donnelly says, Joe, buy 2 Everett Ross Marvel Legends, give the suit your extra Crimson Twins, and then she would just have 2 acrobat-looking guys with Everett Ross heads.
Right, the old guys,
It's the Crimson Twins in 15 years.
right? It's Grandpa and Grandpa Grayson on the highway. Oh no!
Crimson Twins hit their early 50s.
Dr. Watson makes interesting wardrobe choices.
Dude, that's the best thing I've ever heard. Tomax and Zaymot getting up at like 70 years old, and one of them's like, and the other guy's at the same time, oh, my back. And they both, and one of them says, I'm getting too old, and the other one goes, for this shit.
The Murtalis.
So good.
So why don't we go ahead and roll into shout-outs. Racktime Rob, why don't you go ahead and get started there?
Let's see. Shout out to Abbott and Costello for keeping 2 classrooms full of kids entertained this afternoon.
Ooh, hey, which one did you show them?
Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein.
Of course.
Halloween.
Nice.
Excellent. We need to watch that this weekend.
Yeah,
because it's not.
I brought it home.
It's not streaming anywhere. School is 90 feet from this apartment. You could go back and get it even if you had left it behind. So shout out for Bud and Lou. What else we got?
Shout out to the studio audience.
What else we got?
Let's see. A shout out to my friend Greg, who is helping me actively discuss another one of our friends over text messages. So,
all right. I don't think I want to know any more than that.
You don't. It involves a sexy Lou Grant costume. But anyway.
Hey.
It's a sexy anything costume.
I love that the queen of cosplay is like, yeah, I can't see it.
So, someday will be a big enough deal. There'll be a sexy Mike champion shirt costume.
Right? It's like having a sexy Louis Anderson costume, right? I'm not seeing it. No,
not happening. But you know what? They made sexy corn, so there you go.
That's true.
Mark Weber, shout it out.
It's like a tan Weber costume. Like I just don't. It just doesn't work. I can't see that. It's a tall spud, like a tall Spud Webb. Like what? Well, it was gonna sound like I'm kissing up again, but good shout out to Diana Davis and the return of Cookie Monster. Everyone's favorite one-eyed cat who's back home and learning to master 2 English bulldogs at the same time. So
sounds like that. He sounds like he's got that figured out.
Yeah. So, but anyway, the cat whisperer, Diana Davis and Cookie Monster and Cullen as well. Shout out to them for honestly saving the cat's life with the help of their vet. So goodbye me. I'm a cat guy. So I'm always gonna mark out for a good cat story.
Matt Rubin asks, Louis Anderson, since when was he relevant? Since he won a Best Supporting Actor Emmy within the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Pretty sadly passed away shortly after.
He won multiple, I believe.
Yeah, he won a couple. He was excellent in Baskets in a very strange show. But Diana Davis says, thank you. He met the vacuum today.
Oh my God. Hasn't he had
that always
enough?
goes well.
Why would you do that to him, Diana?
Jesus.
He just got home.
Welcome home.
Mr. Vacuum.
Well, at least he's clean.
It's easier ways to scare off a cat. Oh, goodness. Michael Gene Fleming says, if you're interested in Abbott and Costello, there's a Kickstarter ending tonight in about an hour for the second season of their show. I believe they'll be selling it post-Kickstarter. Tell you what, Tubi has it for free. So if you don't mind watching ads, Tubi's got a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, we have been watching Abbott and Costello. Yeah, the Abbott and Costello TV show. On there.
I have forced Racktime Rob into watching 1952's top television hit, the Abbott and Costello show.
You're not forcing me to watch that at all. It's Abbott and Costello.
They actually call one another Bud and Lou in that one. I enjoy it. I hate it when Abbott and Costello have different names in their movies, right? Like they're Abbott and Costello, damn it. They don't have actual name. They're Abbott and Costello. And the TV show gets that done. Joe Colton. That's a tough act to follow, I know, but you need to take yourself off mute and do your shout-outs. So we're just going to be on mute the rest of the show.
Yeah.
You went all show without doing that.
I mean, good.
Every time.
So my shout out is to my hubby, the wrist lock. He's been wonderful, and I've been working late most of the night as well this week. So he's been cooking dinner.
What do you make?
He's made me shrimp one night. We did steaks one night. Some stuff that Mom had made and left frozen, so we made that the other night. It's dolmades. It's like cabbage rolls with like meat and rice. Those are so good. So she made us like probably like 12 trays of them.
That's all?
That's enormous, right? So yeah. Oh, yep.
Coffee and cabbage rolls. Now playing at the Joe Colton house.
Yes. I'm gonna do a shout out to a friend of mine, Karen, who helped me book a cruise as a surprise anniversary / really late honeymoon for Wes and I to go on. So yeah, we haven't really done anything since getting married because of COVID, and so now we're like we're going. And then
plenty of Walmart bags.
Yeah. Julie and I, a shout out to my friend Julie, who has had a broken foot since July, and she is now driving and slowly walking and has been able to put her weight on her broken foot. So yeah.
Yeah.
That foot was really broken.
Right.
Oh yeah. She has like a metal plate in her foot now, and like her ligaments aren't like repairing themselves, and like she might have to do surgery on her ankle. So I don't know how she did it, like literally 4 steps, and she stepped on her own foot.
Right. No, I hear you. I'll vouch for it. My foot's been messed for 3 years because I took one bad step, and when your feet are wrong, everything's wrong. So no, I totally get that. I feel for her.
Did you go to the doctor yet?
No, my insurance just kicked in this week. So
next week,
he said only lying a little. I have to find a doctor. I do have to take care of that now.
Dude, ZocDoc. It's an app on your phone. Fucking find a doctor for your foot.
Oh my God.
Is it called Doc?
It's
ZocDoc.
It's actually even less excusable than that, and I'll tell you after the show. Because information that the rest of the world doesn't need. But I will tell you how terrible it is that I have not found a doctor yet.
Does it boil down to the fact that you're a man?
That's part of it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a little bit.
I myself am a man. So
I don't have a fear of the doctor. Our mom was a nurse, and so I'm very good at explaining what's going on when things are not working properly in my body. I am comfortable talking about these things with medical professionals, but just sometimes there's just some steps that are the toughest ones to take, and that first one is just getting out the door. Phil Donnelly says this show is on the verge of an OSHA violation. Not if it's voluntary. Not if it's voluntary.
We're not going to see the doc, but we are going to see Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein.
They're not going to be called Bud.
Priorities.
Piss me off.
I hope when you meet the doc, he turns around and goes, "Hey, please meet you, I'm Bud."
At which point I'll be like, "I'm Lou."
There you go.
I'm
So who else you got, Joe Colton?
That's it.
All right. I am going to give a shout out to everybody in the studio audience as well. Thank you for tuning in on the live stream tonight. We really appreciate you. If you're catching us on replay, we appreciate you too. Hey, if you're waiting until after the weekend and you're catching us on Podbean or wherever you get your audio podcasts, thank you for that as well. Please, wherever you catch us, be it Facebook or YouTube or whatever, make sure that you're liking the video on YouTube, subscribing to our channel on YouTube. That's where you can really help us out the absolute most. But we'll keep providing for you in as many places as we can without any added expense. Want to give a shout out. Last couple weeks ago, I recorded an episode of Knowing Is Half the Podcast with the fine folks over there. So give a shout out to Chan and Ray and Gina for being hospitable hosts and allowing me to punch down on Ray with as much fury as they do on a regular episode. It was released today. So while you're over on Podbean checking us out and our long and extensive 11-year catalog of interviews and fun, you can be sure to check out theirs too. It was they've been the crux of that show is they've gone through all of G.I. Joe animation, going episode by episode, and really the format's kind of like our format, except they're talking about a specific episode of the cartoon. This season they're into Extreme.
Extreme,
and it was actually and I'll explain this when we actually do the episode with Ray. Ray will be on with us first out of that bunch. But they asked, hey, do you want to do an episode of G.I. Joe Extreme, or do you want to do a Halloween special? And I was like, well, I can't do a G.I. Joe Extreme. That'll make Joe Slepsky jealous. Mm-hmm. So we did a Halloween special. So we are actually doing, we actually talked about for an hour and a half, because count on this guy to bust out the long episode of somebody else's show. We talked about the Sabrina the Animated Series Halloween special from 2000.
Wow.
So yeah,
Sabrina the Teenage Witch animated series.
Yes, you are hearing a bunch of grown-ass people in their 40s talk about a show aimed at 12-year-old girls.
22 years ago.
22 years ago. 22 minutes, hour and a half show. But it was a lot of fun. They're very funny folks, and they're great folks. We clicked very well. I think if you get over and you listen to that, you will have a good time, and stay and listen to them as well. They do fun stuff. They're wonderful folks. Took to them right away. Hopefully we'll get all of them on here at some point. Mm-hmm. Hopefully all of you guys will go over there. Except for Joe. She's not that funny.
Oh.
Only when I'm mean, apparently.
Well, good. No, then you'd fit right in. So you're good.
Yeah, well, if you get to be mean to the one guy, then just
that's kind of the gist of it, dude.
Yeah.
Ray says something dumb and you yell at him for it. But yes, we'll have a link for that down in the comments below once we're done here tonight. When I set this up yesterday, I didn't know they were going to post that today. So all the PR I've done for that program today has been completely impromptu, and so we'll get caught up eventually. Want to give a shout out to you guys, to Joe Colton, to Racktime Rob, to the Honcho Mark Weber. Thank you so much for doing this week after week after week. Hope you guys enjoyed your week off last week. I know Joe Colton wasn't feeling that great. I wasn't feeling that great, but we just needed some. It wasn't a whole lot going on for us to sit around and talk about nothing for an hour and a half.
We took some me time.
We did.
And
instead, we put up the flashback episode. So again, be sure you check that out. It's not doing real well in terms of hits, folks. So be sure to go over there, check that out. Leave us a comment. Let us know if you like the format, what you tweak, what you change. We're always trying to do new things. We're not always going to have G.I. Joe news every week. So if we can supplement what we do here on the TeamStream with other types of content, we really want to know what you want us to do. So please be sure to let us know about that. Leave a comment down below.
And tune in next time to find out what's in this box.
Oh God.
Woo! Yeah, boy. That's called long-term storytelling.
He doesn't tell us this stuff in advance, folks. We really don't know what's in there.
That was a lie. That was a live reveal.
Mark has a plastic tub.
Some weight to that.
This is the What's on Joe Mind equivalent of Al Capone's vault.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
A million little boxes.
I wish it was with Pulsar's head. It's not.
Oh, hey, you know what else I got in this week? Or since we've last spoke.
Even the kids are loud.
52 and 53. Yeah. Joe's just she's looking off to the side because She thinks I have a problem, and she's not wrong.
I would say you have a problem, but we're in the same realm.
But the 900 red ninjas speak otherwise.
Right?
Right? There's a Christmas tree full of red ninjas that's in-
Fine.
You got 900 Red Ninjas. You got 53 Bills. Rob's got 175 Batmen.
Yeah.
I have one Bill.
You got a bill.
I got one bill.
One
Go get him.
bill.
Go get him, Bill.
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 He stayed up all night thinking of that code name.
And no, that's not what was in the box. Stay tuned.
It's in the
We've
box,
seen Bill
Mark.
before.
What?
It's in the box, Mark.
Right? You won't know. You have to wait.
Knowing is half the battle,
Yeah, and none of you know.
and none of us know. I don't think Mark even knows. I think he's faking us out.
Yeah, I'll figure it out by next week. It's Vince Russo booking. It's going to be great.
Whatever. We'll figure it out when we get here.
Fine.
Let's get on the road to Des Moines.
It's like
Who's in the box? Rey Mysterio. It's going to be great.
it's like
Jump
all
out.
the later seasons of Lost.
right.
Sure.
I loved how they advertised the end. The last season. Like, come on. You know we suck, but one more ride. Come on. We'll explain it in the end.
We promise. Really,
You.
we're not going to do it.
No. And I've never watched anything by Carlton Cuse or Damon Lindelof ever since.
Ever again.
Yeah.
Still mad at him.
Let's get out of here.
Yes.
Thanks for watching Watch on Joe Biden. We will be back with another team stream next Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Be sure to join us here on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you. Really, that's kind of it for Friday at 9. Anyways, for my host, Racktime Rob, Joe Colton, Mark Weber, I'm Mike Irizarry. Have a great rest of the weekend. If you can't stay safe, be careful. Yo, Joe.
Bing!